Hello everyone. It's been a while since we actually talked about anything related to World of Warships, so I decided to return and talk about Tier 8 German premium battleship Odin. Now it's been a while we actually seen anything related to Odin, and I decided to bring every information available with my own special experience and also available information, and smash everything right here in this video and trying to figure out, is Odin worth it in in World of Warships and 2026 and 2027. The origin of the name Odin is a very fascinating one. In the Norse cosmology, as mentioned, that Odin originates as a son of god Bor and the giantess Besla. It is also mentioned that he also had brothers, Vili and Wei. And together they slew the primordial giant Ymir. And from Ymir's remains they forged the cosmos and created the first humans too. Now this information is a little bit lackluster, but this demands more information about Odin's origin, other than just being part of Norse cosmology and mythology. Other than that, it has been mentioned that Odin is a all-father. But that's all I'm going to say about Odin right here. So what is the ship himself? Well, the Odin is based on a Deutschland class heavy cruisers. Something that's just a upgraded version, shall we say. Just add a bigger guns and one more turrets and more armor to the design, and that also increases the ship's size. And according to the World of Warships own information, this all started somewhere between 1932 and 1934. Various projects have been considered further develop and enhance the capabilities of the Deutschland class warships. And with the 3 or 5mm guns, and here we are, we have Odin. Yes, more upgraded version of the famous Deutschland class and pocket battleships. Right here, I'm gonna read the notes, what I have personally learned about the Odin. And the note says the following: large cruiser HP, 52,800, heavy armor, 320mm main belt, 120mm turtleback armor, good fore and aft end armors, main battery, 3 triple 305mm guns, reload 23 seconds, standard battleship dispersion with a Sigma 2.0. Secondary armament, 2 triple 150mm guns, 6 twin 128mm guns, with a range 7.7 kilometers. Torpedoes is a standard 6 kilometer range, and with a hydroacoustic surge with 5 kilometer range. Let me remind you that Odin was released in June 2020, while this video was released just 6 years ago. And game has changed a lot in the past 6 years. They added hybrid ships, super ships, new nation fleets. Did I mention hybrids? Now we have submarines, and I almost forgot, airstrikes from Netherlands ships And was there other lands that also practice the same? Oh yes, Jet H1, that new German destroyer with the airstrikes. Yeah, these are the things that we have now currently 2026 and will moving forward to be in 2027. And the question is Odin worth it in 2026 and 2027? Now let's build the case, shall we? We are going to discuss things in the following order: submarines, hybrid ships, new secondary battleships and battlecruisers, ships with airstrikes, and aircraft carriers. When you are dealing with submarines, it is recommended to keep an eye on the minimap where it was spotted last time. If submarine is in your flank, keep moving between the islands to have cover and stay close to your allies, because once the enemy submarine is spotted, allies will send anti-sub airstrikes upon him. When there is hybrid ship in your flank, you can only hope that the enemy doesn't focus much on you. Of course, to keep enemy planes at bay, just make sure you have cooperative allies who are willing to share their AA defenses and shooting down enemy planes. These days we have Libertad and Schlieffen Line. But of course there are other secondary brawler battleships and cruisers. These ships can outgun Odin easily if conditions for the enemy are right. Only thing you can rely on is island cover and support from your allies. If you can start fire or hit them with your torpedoes, that too helps you some degree in close range combat. With the new armament on today World of Warships, the airstrike capability throws your plans out of the table. However, if the enemy ship with the airstrike is not on your flank, you can put your plan into motion and play Odin effectively. But if you have the enemy on your flank with the airstrikes, you can only do is just play smart with your consumables and repair party. When you have a chance to escape from his attack range, you get to live longer. But in return you have to pick your fights more carefully, because your HP has been hammered by the fire and airstrike damage. Keep your mind calm and plan your next move quickly. Aircraft carriers have always been lonely ships' greatest enemy. If you happen to sail or keep the flank under your control, there is a small possible chance that the enemy aircraft will start focusing on you. How do you keep them away from you? You can either start moving, or what is recommended is to keep your allies close by. Odin's anti-air defenses are to some degree useful, but standing alone they won't do much. If you happen to play in division, having a friend with powerful anti-air is recommended if you plan to use island cover as your shields from enemy fire. While I was playing the Odin, I want to point these out: her main guns, secondaries, her small HP, and current play meta in the random matches. Odin's main guns are indeed, as World of Warships Dry Dog video claimed, they are effective in the medium and close range. However, I have to point out their funny dispersion that happen time to time. Her AP capabilities must be pointed out. Although they can deal good amount of damage, thanks to her small caliber 305mm, the penetrations are perhaps on the bad side. If the moment and angle is correct, even same or higher tier destroyers can ricochet your AP. Odin's HE is perhaps the main use. They do deal less damage, but no one likes the fire you put on their ships. Thanks to the reload time, 23 seconds, you can hail the enemies constantly with your HE shells. Do keep in mind that AP is in your arsenal, so do not forget to set them next on the loading cycle before you fire your main guns and hit enemies' citadels. Odin's secondary armament is unique one, mix of 150mm and 128mm guns. It is said that the German 128mm has better penetration capabilities in comparison to 150s. Nowadays, players prefer accurate secondary guns, but if you have something like wide dispersion one, it is not counted as accurate. But consider this, even though there are many shells, there will be those who will hit the moving target, and because they land either wide or close space in range, they will hit every part of the enemy ship, setting on fire or dealing the damage. Odin's HP is the biggest problem in current World of Warships, because Odin will face tier 10 ships and they can easily ruin your day if you are not careful. Also, what I learned is that Odin is weak on Alaska type guns. Show too much of your side and luckily lose something like 25% of UHP. This is offset by Odin's well-armored design, but it won't do much if you do not take cover from the island and keep your bow straight to the enemy. Reading the minimap is crucial for Odin's survivability, because it will help you to choose which target should you pick a fight on. World of Warships' current meta gameplay is medium and long range shooting. The higher tier you go, because some ships' armor is well suited to play in long range. Some ships are designed to be moving gun fortresses, to push and break enemy lines, and Odin takes the latter part. Thanks to her small HP, small but fast loading main guns, and secondaries with balanced performance. She will suffer heavily if you push recklessly towards the enemy. To survive, play Odin as a very heavily armored heavy cruiser. Don't forget that she is enhanced design of the Deutschland class pocket battleships. With her speed of 31.5 knots, you can reach flanks quickly too. The gameplay Odin demands today, and the future of World of Warships is this. Read the map which flanks you spawn in. Then start reading the enemy ships and tier you are dealing. Take a look. Can you take proper cover from the island? And the two main targets are enemy cruisers and destroyers. Secondly, battleships. Because your main gun and shell characteristics, you deal only some damage, but never forget to support your own destroyers. If the World of Warships ever plans to give Odin a sister ship, it would be better to have a main gun focused second Odin, if the first one is having troubles to fit in the current game state. Like for example, Odin class battleship, Hildur, Mist or Scheduled. The last part actually is pronounced as Scheduled. I'm gonna drop the name right here. These names are just for example to possible next Odin class ship. Now for my final thoughts. If you noticed, everything right I just said is all written down. Because how else I can actually keep everything straight to the point and simple-minded as if I could possibly make. Now, this is all based upon my personal experience with Odin. And now I wanted to build a video and make a script how to deal Odin in 2026 and 2027. With every evidence on the table. I think the possible case for the Odin is this, as I mentioned in the script. She is having problems in current warships because of her HP. And not just by the HP, but also her play design. And I'm also very sure is that she can survive even against tier 10 warships, but that requires very skillful captain to make sure that Odin can deal something to the enemy ships. In return, you also survive some degree. But as you noticed, I haven't mentioned nothing at all about her torpedoes and her hydroacoustic surge. But if I did, I probably forgot because I actually spent 5 days in this project. And because I had to actually go to work. And that was draining my stamina. So yeah, not an easy week to make this video. And the script, because I personally was not satisfied at all how the first one come through. I wasn't satisfied at all, so I had to spend a whole week to make this perfect fun. But anyway, back to the topic. Hydroacoustic surge and torpedoes. 6-kilometer torpedoes, that's understandable. But if you have given Odin 8-kilometer torpedoes like Crash Spear, that would have given Odin more flexibility to fight and push in. And with 5-kilometer range hydroacoustic surge, that has to be a joke. Because based upon my experience with the Odin, I have to say, if you're dealing tier 10 battleships, destroyers and cruisers that has 6-kilometer range, you are highly disadvantaged because of this. And I don't care what the tier 8 players and 7 thinks about Odin having 6-kilometer range. If the World of Warships team mentions that enhanced hydroacoustic surge, then it should be properly made for that purposes. Why keep it 5? Just increase it to 5.5 or instantly 6-kilometer range. I don't care, just do it. 6-kilometer range hydroacoustic surge would be a good deal. And as for the 6-kilometer range torpedoes, just give her 8-kilometer range ones too, and that also gives Odin more flexibility to fight. Now, yes, indeed, you can spot torpedo somewhere 3.5 kilometer range, but let's not forget that deep water torpedoes Although if you have hydro on, in my experience, it can just a little bit throw off. But what can I remember correctly? And I have to also mention that it has been difficult to play Odin, even against tier 10 or tier 9. If she had more HP, like 56,000 perhaps, way better than 52,000, I would say that would give Odin more survivability against tier 8 to 10 warships. Because I remember a few days ago, or was it yesterday match, I was fighting against Admiral Shear and one American cruiser. Was it what was it, the tier 8 cruiser or tier 9 cruiser was it? I don't recall. Either way. And there was also a destroyer as well. And you can actually think and speculate how that ended. And let me tell you straight away, not good. I lost that fight. I think it was Johnny? I think it was Juki Johnny, the destroyer that I was dealing with, sending those torpedoes, and yeah, with this type of HP, you are not gonna survive. And same goes with every torpedo, or destroyer at least, and submarines as well. If you know, submarines has a homing ones and also close range torpedoes, and those close range torpedoes can deal insane amount of damage. They just require you to be closer to the enemy ship, just because they can deal perhaps 20,000 damage at best if every torpedo hits, or just a couple. That's 20 HP, 20,000 excuse me, 20,000 HP off. You're not gonna have a fun time at all, even with Odin. What else I can actually think of? Despite the bad sides, she is still a battleship that requires tactical thinking, a lot of tactical thinking. And team play, of course, as well. But what I do want to point out is that even though she wasn't a real ship, the only real thing was her 305mm main gun, which was a prototype, and the ship design itself. After I've been playing like 2 weeks or 3 weeks with the Odin, I started to like the ship, and I really like how she looks. I mean, she's a very sexy ship. There are plenty of beautiful looking ships, but I just love Odin's design. I just love it. It's so simple and beautiful. Perhaps copy of the Toyson class, but what's there to complain about? It's just blueprint ship that was never meant to be, or never built it. It's just beautiful. But the idea of having second Odin, I don't know why I thought about it, but I think I figured it out. It's just that if we ever have a second Odin that is focused on main gun use and not in something like close range combat, I think that main gun second Odin could be a way better compared to the original Odin. And with the Hilder, Mist or Skegjold, how do you pronounce the name itself? I'm sorry if I say it wrong. But either way, I did some quick look what those names mean. Yes, they are Valkyries, servants of Odin, collecting souls from the battlefield and escorting them to Valhalla. If I remember correctly, it was either Hilder or Skegjold who was, or perhaps Mist. No, actually, let me fix that statement. I think all three of them are very fascinating names and their origin story as well. I highly recommend logging for them. It is very interesting. If we ever have a ship like that, I think one of these names could really fit for the Odin. Second ship Odin, excuse me. But I think that's all I'm about to say about the Odin for now. What is your opinions about the Odin, and what were your game experiences with the Odin and current World of Warships? Let me know in comments down below. Also, if you want to see more content like this, excuse me, hit the like button, and also subscription can do the job, helping YouTube algorithm and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.